listening to the Betmaker Show. This is the NFL Preseason Week 3 betting odds preview for Monday, August 19th, 2019. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of the Betmaker Show, Brian Blessing.
All right, let's have some fun. Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Our buddy Cam Stewart is joining us north of the border. Oh, he follows his NFL football. Preseason football, Cammy, there have been some opportunities, but then the one thing you get with preseason football are crazy lineups, quarterback rotations. But week 3, and the numbers are out, at least for a half of football, for the most part, we're going to be seeing teams as they're going to take the field on week 1 when it counts.
Yeah, I'm actually, Brian, I got to be honest with you, the preseason's been pretty good so far. It's interesting. A lot of these, 3.5 hook lines, you're taking the dog. A lot of the games are close. The 2-point conversions at the end of the game, a lot of things happening, all right, because they don't want to have these ties. So these games fall within the numbers. And so far, so good. We've won more than we've lost in the preseason. It's been pretty successful so far. A lot of weird things happen, and you said it. The first half I find more predictable too. In the second half of games, when is that second string guy going to stay in? The third stringer in the fourth quarter, madness seems to happen a lot of the time. That what makes the games very difficult. So live betting, I think late in some games we can find some edges on some good numbers. But yeah, just looking at the lines right now. First game on the board. I've been very impressed with the Giants, what they've done in the preseason, a team that's not going to be very good during the regular season. I heard, O'Hara, former Giant, predicting this team winning 10 games. I almost spilled my coffee all over the floor.
Yeah, pardon me?
Yeah, I go, excuse me? 10 wins? Are you kidding me? With Dallas and Philadelphia there? But it's been a nice start to the season. As for the Cincinnati Bengals, tough luck for the Bengals, too. They're the first rounder out of Alabama. He got hurt. A.J. Green's got problems. I don't know what this team's going to do. A hell of a lot of Joe Mixon, I could tell you that. But the first game, I don't see much defense in this game. And the total 43.5.
You nailed it.
I think the over is probably where we play that when we get teams like this. I don't know. I think the Bengals can score. I think the Giants will score. And 43 seems like a number that we can get over. So I lean over in Giants-Bengals. That's the first thing that comes to my mind when I look at the Week 3 sked.
Yeah, Cincinnati, 1.5 point favorite, 42.5, 43.5. I was going to say the same thing. Not much to love here, but the quarterback rotation, you get some Dalton. Driscoll can play a little bit.
Yep.
Clearly, they'll get Barkley a little bit of work in this game, but Manning and the kid Daniel Jones has looked really good. I'm with you. I see points there. Washington and Atlanta. Atlanta 2.5, 42.5. The bottom line is here, I think Atlanta's got an offense that can put up some video game numbers in the regular season, but Quinn just doesn't care. Washington was going to be a real opportunity to make money in the preseason, but McCoy's not been healthy, and this was a big deal for them because all of a sudden, I think Case Keenum, they were showcasing him to maybe trade him, and he's going to be the starter now because McCoy's been hurt. Too many question marks here on both of these teams. I think this is one to sit on the sidelines with.
I agree with you. If I were to play the game, I'd probably go under the 43.5 in this game. I think Washington, obviously, with the quarterback problems that they have, they can't afford to have anybody get hurt with the Colt McCoy injury. As for the Falcons, it's weird. You see Matt Ryan play a preseason game, and it didn't matter. He was so pissed off, Brian, keep me out there. We're not scoring, and that's the thing. It was very shocking. Now I expect things to be very vanilla in this game. These teams have to worry about key guys getting injured. I think that number is a little bit too high. When you look at it, initially I think people are going to think the over. I think the opposite. I think Atlanta's going to a lot of vanilla, tick, a lot of running of the ball. Lean to the skins as a dog. I don't love it, but I do look at this game and look at the under in the regular season. This would be a whole different story, but that number is a tad too high for me with the backups that they have on both of these teams.
All right, I will say this, pal. The next one on the hopper here, and that is New England at home against Carolina. New England 4.5, totals 42.5. I watched the entire, God help me, Bills Carolina game, and you get hey, let's go Buffalo! They were great. Yes. Well, we'll get to that in a moment, but I mean, from the Carolina perspective, Cam Newton didn't play. So he'll probably play in here. You get a little bit of McCaffrey. But beyond that, Let me tell you, the quarterback rotation against the Bills' backups, Carolina just had nothing to offer. I mean, Will Greer looks completely out of sorts, learning what's going on, and the Kyle Allen kid he's just a journeyman. So, you get a healthy dose of Brian Hoyer here after Tom Brady. It's a preseason game, but I can see New England rolling in this one.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think Carolina looked absolutely awful against Buffalo. Buffalo took it to them, the pick six. The Panthers have been a real bad preseason team. Riverboat Ron, I don't think Carolina's a good team, period. You said it. Cam Newton, oh, yeah, he's got his arm back. Yeah, we'll see about that in the regular season. I don't believe any of these reports. And you're right, the quarterback rotation, I like Will Greer at West Virginia, but he's obviously hasn't grasped the system. Allen's an interception machine. As for New England, even though Bill Belichick couldn't really care, they just have too much talent on this team. Maybe try to get Josh Gordon implemented back in the offense, too. There's a lot of things that New England will work on, and the receiver issue is something I think is very, very important to them. You talk about it. Hoyer is a professional, been there, done that. It's 4.5 points. Hey, if you don't want to lay the lumber, I would look for New England in parlays because I don't see Carolina winning this game. Give me the Patriots.
All right, buddy. Baltimore and Philadelphia. The wrong team's favored here. Philly's 1.5. The total's 37.5.
Correct.
The deal here, I mean, we're not telling anybody anything they don't know. Harbaugh likes to – they don't lose. Right? He likes to win preseason games. But more than that, Nate Sudfeld gets hurt. You got Josh McCown walking off the street. And even though it's a dress rehearsal, I mean, the Eagles need a CAT scan if Wentz, even in a dress rehearsal, plays more than a quarter. I mean, they cannot get this guy hurt. So I say give him a quarter and get him out of there, and Baltimore's the play.
Ryan, I love you. I would even play. I'd play him a couple series. Philadelphia, everything's riding on Wentz. I know they went out and picked up McCown, but I'm with you. Like, I'm really, really worried. I don't even think you need a full quarter there. A couple drives. See you later, Wentz. You're done. As for Baltimore, lots of things still to work on. Lamar Jackson, great speed with his legs, and also, but he needs to work on throwing of the ball. The Baltimore Ravens and Harbaugh, they love the preseason. To them, they play it like the regular season. I agree. I would have flipped the lines there. I like the Ravens, and I think the Eagles just want to get out of there with nobody hurt in this type of situation. So, if the roulette wheel just keeps on coming up red there, Brian, I can't go the other way. Baltimore just wins these games. That's a Raven over an Eagle. That's the Raven.
There you go. Sending people off the road.
Yeah, sorry.
Green Bay and Oakland. It's a pick. The total is 41 in this game. I got to be honest with you, Cam. I like the over. Specifically, with Oakland, Carr looked good, but Glennon actually looks really good. But Glennon's also capable of a box of rocks throw that could be a pick six.
Yes, he is.
I think there's points in this one.
I agree, and I have another angle for points, Brian. Get it? If we can get it at 41.5, I see some 42s. We got to jump on this now. This game is being played at Investors Group Field in Winnipeg, Canada. They've already had real problems selling it. Their tickets are very expensive. Kind of a CFL town in Winnipeg more than an NFL town. I think the NFL is going to really have to spice it up in this game with the ticket sales. Lots of penalties, lots of points, keeps people interested. Pick 'em game. They want some fireworks and excitement. I like the over to begin with. Now I really, really like it. You're right. The Packers in Oakland, I can see these teams putting up over 50 in the game. Nice total. If you like the over, bet it now. Give me the over. Keep climbing. Packers and Raiders in Winnipeg, points galore.
Buddy, you're Canadian. You're one of my you're one of my best friends in the world. I love you like a brother. Can we stop with the NFL stuff in Canada?
Yeah.
I mean, the Bills Toronto thing where Buffalo went up there to play a game, it was a funeral home. Nobody cared.
Yeah, no, and that's another thing. Yeah, it was almost very similar to, like, when you go to watch a game in London. Hello, everybody. I'm a Jaguar fan. And they have a guy in a Jacksonville jersey. Hey, yeah. Oh, I'm from Leeds, and I really like the Raiders. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, we're at a game, and you're not even wearing the jerseys of the teams that are playing. It's like, it's kind of like a CFL festival. When you go to the Grey Cup, everyone from Canada goes around and, hey, I'm representing British Columbia. I'm representing Calgary. Like, that's what it is. It's a smorgasbord. You're right, Brian. Like, the people of Winnipeg didn't really need this game. They got the Jets in hockey. They got the Blue Bombers, who are probably the best team in the Canadian Football League right now. They don't give a rat's ass. And the tickets are like $200 and stuff. So, you know what I mean? They're kind of like, meh. they've only sold out like 30% of the seats, I think, right now, and they're going to have to drop the prices.
The only way to wake these people up at this football game is that they put on the Jumbotron that Patrick Liney got traded.
You're right.
Jacksonville, Miami. Miami's 2.5. Total's 35.5. No pass. Pass. Yeah. That's his next.
Next. Yeah. I don't know. 2 Florida teams, Jacksonville, Miami. I don't know what to think. Under, but it's 36.5. You're right, Brian. We can't bet every game on the card. Hey, people, if you like the Jacksonville Dolphins game, good on you, but I don't know how we're going to find an angle there. It's tough. But if Jacksonville does, the one thing, though, Brian, is a little bit of a sleeper team. They want to get Foles off on the right foot. They understand, a couple years removed from that game against the Patriots, like a lot of people thinking maybe a sleeper team with that defense. Miami's going to be a train wreck, but in the preseason, they look a lot better than they're going to be in the regular season with their rotation. But I pass. But if you're going to bet it, I lean Jacksonville as a dog, but I'm going to pass.
All right, Cleveland, Tampa Bay is another gong show, but it's a pick. Total's 43. I'll tell you what I would say here. 45, the suggested opener, looking at 43. How about this? So if it's 43, blah, 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 probably looking at 20.5, 21, maybe. I would go over in the first half with Jameis Winston and Arians wanting to win games and Mayfield playing maybe a little bit more. I would say points in the first half. The second half would be a train wreck.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to attack the game. I think Tampa Bay, just not even from a betting perspective, from a fantasy perspective, Winston understands contract year. He has a relationship with Arians. I also like the Mike Evans situation with Winston. I think they're great guys that we could play in daily fantasy, and they're going to be huge in gambling. Tampa Bay has a tough schedule, but you're right, Brian. One thing, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think they're going to score a lot of points and give up a lot of points. Conversely, the Browns, biggest hype team in the National Football League right now, Baker Mayfield, even in the preseason, you'll want to put it together. I'm with you. I love that first half over. I think the game might go over, but I prefer the first half. Excellent point.
Let's make some money tonight.
For outstanding information and special offerings and promotions, we invite you and encourage you to sign up for our newsletter today simply by going to the website at betmaker.com. All right, pal, it's preseason, and, everybody can look great in the preseason. I got to tell you, bud, the Bills have looked really
amazing,
really good. And it's preseason, and you don't want to buy into hype. But the one thing about this team, their defense was a second-ranked defense in the NFL last year. Everybody's back, and they got Ed Oliver, and their backups fly around and get after it. So the defense looks really, really good. But the eye-opener, Cam, is finally there's a defined wide receiver battle. They're going to cut two really good from a team that had no wide receivers last year. Now they got a lot of them, and every one of these guys is making plays in the preseason. They're going to cut a really good player, and Josh Allen and Matt Barkley.
Barkley's good preseason quarterback.
Barkley played well. He walked off the street last year and beat the Jets 41-10 in the regular season.
Exactly.
And Barkley's had a whole year with the offense. So, and specifically in the second half, I see Barkley lighting this thing up, but Josh Allen has looked so good, bud, in that he stands in the pocket now, and he does a quick scan. And I'm telling you, if you watched it, the eyeball test, you would think Edelman got traded to Buffalo. This Cole Beasley, Cam, he's got to check down on every play, and every play, Beasley's got 4 yards of separation and is wide open, moving the chains. They got something going on here. Yeah, it's just the preseason, but I don't know how Buffalo's catching points here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'll take Buffalo, whatever it is, in the second half as well with their backups. The Lions have looked pretty decent, but I'm with you. I really like what the Buffalo Bills are bringing to the table. The defense looks impeccable. I love Ed Oliver. Singletary. Brian, look at the backs they have, too. Everyone's like, Gore's still, I know he's older, but he's going to give it his all. You still have McCoy, and then you have a young kid in there. There's a lot to like about the Buffalo Bills, and you said it, the eye test. They're going to be better than people think. I've talked about very similar to the Jets. I think the Bills, though, brings them over the top. They're a better team. Their defense is so much better than the New York Football Jets. I'm with you. I'm on the Buffalo Bills in any type of situation. Hey, man, McDermott's a no BS guy, and he likes winning games in the preseason too. He's old school. Give me Buffalo.
Arizona, Minnesota. Minnesota's up to 6. I think this actually, which is unheard of in a preseason game.
I'd take it. What's Arizona doing? They're horrible.
It's going to get to 7.
I know.
My point.
I agree with you.
So if you bet it now. And the total's 43.5 down to 41.5. There's two things going on here. You got the rookie quarterback. Arizona's defense is an atrocity.
It is.
But the offense, I think to a degree, Kingsbury's keeping a lot of what he wants to do under wraps. Maybe they throw a little bit more in here to get Kyler Murray up to speed. But there's a transition going on, and I don't think Arizona's using the package they really want to use. I think they want to spring it on people when the season starts. Who cares? It's a preseason game, and Zimmer likes to win. I think Minnesota rolls them.
I did. Yeah, no, I watched the Minnesota-Seattle game, and everything about Minnesota. I like their backups were phenomenal in that game. The defensive second teamers were good. The quarterbacks were good. Everybody they put in there, they did a fantastic job and looked very strong. As for Arizona, one of the weaker teams in the preseason. Brian, you're right about Kyler Murray too, having problems with the snap count. The referees having issues with it too. Trying to run a college-style offense. It is not going to work, and you are right. Kingsbury, he's not going to give anything. Maybe 1 play, 2 plays tops, but you said it. Vanilla. They're waiting till the regular season to try to blow people's mind. They couldn't care less about the preseason. I think the Vikings can win this game by double digits. You're right. Usually you see a line no bigger than 4.5 in the preseason. It's 6. If you like the Vikings, parlay it or take it now because they're going to probably kill Arizona.
And I think this is another bad number. I
agree. I'd flip it the other way. I'm with you. But Bears-Colts? What the hell are the Colts favored by 3-4? Andrew Luck, he might not even play in this season. Brian, he's got so many damn injuries. He's 30 going on 65. You talk about Metamucil. I worry if you got futures on the Colts because this is a serious situation. Jacoby Brissett can't see. He can't get hurt either. As for the Bears, a little bit disappointing. I think they win outright. I'll take the 3.
Well, I will just say this to you. The first week, Indy's playing Buffalo. And they bet the Colts like the game was over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going, I don't understand. I hadn't seen either team. And, I follow the Bills to the point where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what everybody's thinking here, but I'm not going to do anything about it. And the Bills killed them. They couldn't move the ball. They got a long touchdown run from Chad Kelly at the end of the game. So then you get to week 2, and I'm like, well, I learned my lesson. The Colts are favored 3 against the Browns. And I'm like, Indy looks terrible, and Mayfield looked great. So if the Browns win 21-18, catching 3, you tell me what's changed. I sit here, look at this game, and you got Trubisky, Chase Daniel, and Tyler Bray. How is Chicago not favored?
Yeah, this feels like a trap, and yeah, you're right. No, we talked about it last week, and I took the Browns too, the points and the money line. We were rewarded for that. I don't get this line at all. At worst, I would make it a pick 'em. I don't see what the books are saying. What, Indianapolis is suddenly going to bring it together? No, they're not. Andrew Luck, it's a serious situation there. Jacoby Brissett has to stay healthy, so you're going to have a lot of second and third stringers for the Colts. As for the Bears, they have kicking problems. I know they're going to want to address that situation. They're going to take this game a hell of a lot more seriously. I'm telling you, Brian, I don't know what's going on. Are we missing something? I hope we're not getting tricked because the Bears at +3 looks like an absolute gift right now.
All right, then you get Houston and Dallas, and you know what? I don't like the game, but I would say under the total.
I'd go under, lean to Houston, but I don't love it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either team's showing a whole heck of a lot here. I would lean under. New Orleans and the Jets.
I like the Jets.
The only thing I would say to you is that Breeze, historically, the game last week, they're playing Sunday in San Diego. Drew Brees on Saturday spent the entire day at Del Mar playing the horses.
Yeah.
And I'm serious.
Yeah.
They kept showing him for the Pacific Life. Going, well, that tell you, everybody knew he wasn't going to play, but aren't you going to still help the backups? Right? He's out playing the ponies.
I love it.
Right. But New Orleans, I think Breeze gets some work here. Taysom Hill can move the football.
He can.
Teddy Bridgewater's playing.
Meh.
You know what? I kind of like points in the game, to be honest with you. But I'm with you. I think the Jets at home want to try to. The Saints don't care.
That's the thing. Well, look what the Saints did last year, Brian, and I'm going to be fading them. They ran out of gas. They have an older quarterback who was on fire at the start of the year, and as the season progressed and right before the playoffs, it got worse and worse, and Drew Brees was breaking down. I know a bad call cost them, but still, I'm not as high on the Saints as everyone else is. I think they're going to regress a little bit. I actually like Atlanta at 4-1 to win that division. If you can make that bet, I think that's a good price. I think it's basically a pick 'em. I think Atlanta could be better than the Saints. So I'm with the Jets. Young team at home, wanting to do some damage, leave a nice taste in your mouth. They're getting a point. I'll take the Jets. Not my favorite game of the week, but I like it.
And then let's go to Seattle and the Chargers. This one's interesting. Chargers are 1, and the total's 41. You know, Cammy, I'm telling you, this is an overplay in the first half. You're finally going to see Phillip Rivers, and then you're going to see a lot of Tyrod Taylor. And if you watch the Seattle game against Minnesota, Russell Wilson, what are they doing? He wants to play and compete. He did a run-pass option, and he tucked it and ran. I go, what are you doing? It's a preseason game. I see the offenses in the first half moving the football, and then it's a circus act.
Oh, big time. And another thing, Brian, not just to that point, he had a talk with Pete Carroll about, he was pissed off to be out of that game earlier. He wants to play full games. Russell Wilson's a different type of guy. Pete Carroll's going to listen to a certain extent, but you're right. They ran some dangerous plays there. I'm like, oh my God, if this guy goes down, we're dead. What do you got? Paxton Lynch there? It's a problem. But I'll tell you something. Russell Wilson, he kind of calls the shots. I wouldn't be surprised if he played the whole damn half. He wants to come out for the second half. I'm with you. I would take the over in the game. I don't know what team's going to score, but Phillip Rivers, too, with all the problems that they have on the Chargers right now. Keenan Allen's banged up. Russell Okung has a heart problem. We talk about all the other things that they got going on. James, huge loss in the secondary. Man, the Chargers, it's scary. If you like these guys at the start of the year, man, they got some key pieces down. But, yes, I like the over in the first half of this football game. Wilson and Rivers should be able to score points.
I'm not going to do it, but the only thing I would consider in the next game, that's Tennessee 2.5, 41 hosting Pittsburgh. I take a little flyer with the Steelers in the first half. I think Roethlisberger want to get a little bit of rhythm. I watch out for this James Washington kid.
Yeah, I like him too.
As great a player as Antonio Brown is, this could be addition by subtraction because he's proven what a diva he is.
Antonio Brown, guy's a moron. For all the things that he's doing, this helmet stuff. Thank God. You know what, Brian? You're going to be thanking your lucky stars he didn't go to the Bills because they got a good thing going. This actually could be the biggest blessing, as I say, in disguise, not having this guy in Buffalo because I'm telling you, he is an absolute cancer, and I think Mayock and Gruden want to wring his neck right now, and I can't blame them. I don't wish ill will upon human beings, but Antonio Brown's a dick. And I hope the Raiders suck, and I hope he sucks this year, too. He was an absolute fool. He made fun of the city of Buffalo. He's a diva. He's a problem. You know what I mean, buddy? I get it, and I don't understand. For a 6th-round draft pick out of Central Michigan, it's amazing how big your head can be. When he first came to the league, he was a great guy.
We have no numbers up yet because when we're taping this, San Francisco and Denver playing tonight. But you got San Fran, KC. I would actually look for that game to go over the total with Mahomes getting more work, and the Niners with Garoppolo, Beathard, and the Mullen kid. I think you see points in that game. Denver and the Rams. The Rams don't care. The Broncos are no good. So I don't see any points in that game. I'd probably see that'll probably be a low total, maybe 38, 39, 38 and a half. I'd look under there, but neither game I'm doing a cartwheel to play.
No, I'm with you, Brian. I think we're going to pass on the other ones. I see some good advantages there, as we talked about. A couple real weird games, fading Indianapolis has been good so far in the preseason. Baltimore seemed to kick ass every time they take the field. Carolina looks horrible. We're going to put New England in some parlays, and Minnesota, they just keep on rolling as well. I think maybe that parlay that we talked about before, if I was going to parlay it, I'd parlay Minnesota and the New England Patriots to plus money.
Yeah, I think just a quick recap. I think the Patriots could blow Carolina out, and we were both in agreement, right, that we thought the wrong team was favored in the Chicago Indy game.
Correct.
There was one other one we thought the wrong team was favored. Who was that?
Buffalo, Detroit? No.
Yes,
Yeah, Buffalo,
yes,
Detroit.
yes.
We like Buffalo, plus 1.5.
Yeah.
Over 42, but more Buffalo.
2 dogs and a favorite. I think Chicago, Buffalo, and the Patriots look good.
Minnesota.
And then totals, maybe I thought that Chargers game over in the first half.
In the Cleveland game over in the first half with Tampa. Cleveland, Tampa, first half points, too, with Mayfield and Winston.
And Green Bay, Oakland over.
Yes, correct. Yes, and Green Bay, Oakland over in the game in Winnipeg. Go Bombers!
I think it would be great if one of them did it. That they drive all the way down the field, and then just for the hell of it, because the game, the game's in Winnipeg, all of a sudden they snap it to the punter at the 20-yard line, and he punts it into the upper deck.
Yeah. Rouge. You get a
Rouge.
single point. Or the best would be, the guy gets a touchdown, rips off his jersey. He's got like a Winnipeg jersey underneath. That'd be fun. Yeah, get the fans all fired up. I'll tell you, I've been to Winnipeg before. Brian, you think I can drink? Those people in Winnipeg really know how to throw them back, buddy. It's cold there. They love to party.
What do they love up there? They're Brador?
Brador! Actually, it's called, there's a beer in this guy. It's called Pilsner. It's Pilsner. It's Pilsner country, buddy. $2 a can. This stuff, it'll knock you on your ass. Yeah, Brador. I like Brador. Nice.
Did you ever have Brador?
Oh God, yes. It's one of the first beers I've ever had, man. That's you know me, man. It's like drinking Valvoline, but I like it.
It's like 28% alcohol, isn't it?
Nah, it's about 6, but it tastes like an oil change.
I thought it isn't there a Brador Triple X or something?
No. They have one called Maximum Ice. It's 11%. That's what you're thinking about. You want to find me in a ditch? Get me a case of that.
You know what? Honestly, got the best kept secret. I can't get it out here. I can't get it out. My favorite beer of all time, Molson Golden.
Oh, Molson Golden used to. It's actually, you know what, Brian? I don't even think they make it anymore. It's in like the quarter bin now. Like if you can find Molson Golden, don't worry. You come down and see me. I'll get you a case of gold. I'm not even sure if they make it anymore. That's the crazy thing. It's not expensive either.
Well, Molson has the regular beer, but they had a thing called Molson Golden.
Yeah, Molson Golden's amazing. Yeah, it's very smooth. Good beer. I'll tell you another thing, Brian. I don't know what the hell that you're doing in the United States, but this Bloody Mary thing, hey, there's something called Clamato juice, and it's called a Caesar. Figure it out, USA.
All right, we're off to the races. There you have it. Week 3 preseason football. He's the man. He's Cam Stewart. I'm Brian Blessing. Thanks for joining us.
Betmaker, let's make some money tonight.
Well, that's the Betmaker Show for now. We publish multiple times each week. We'd like to thank you for listening, and if you liked what you heard, please take a moment to leave a rating and review, or subscribe to our show feed, or share our show with a friend or two and help us grow the show. We very much appreciate it. Visit us on the web at bettmaker.com. And reminder to sign up for the newsletter. Thanks to our engineer, Darren Vandermolen, and producer, Mike Gallivan. The Betmaker Show is a production of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated. Betmaker is a registered trademark. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this content without the express written consent of Cardinal Marketing Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At Betmaker.com and the Betmaker Show, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling. An approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset. and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.